So now I would like to move on. Dr. Kristy Custer, and I just saw Kristy a minute ago. Oh, she's right there. She's already standing up. That's why I can't find her. So Kristy has been a Scout mom for 15 years. Her son Christian and her daughter Peyton are both Eagle Scouts, and she is a den leader for her son Keaton's Arrow of Light Den. Dr. Custer was an educator for 24 years, culminating as the principal of the Alternative Complete High School in Mays. She is currently president of the Educational Innovation at Generation S Esports. Whew, esports. As Coach said, the world has changed, and 10 years from now it will change again. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Dr. Kristy Custer. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, when Kevin asked me to do this, he said, you're going to be following Coach Schneider. And I was like, oh my God, following Coach Schneider. And so he was like, can you bridge maybe from football, because we figured that you might talk a little bit about football today, and kind of bridge, because we're going to want everybody to get their wallets out here in a minute and, do some stuff. And I said, I know a little bit about football. I said, my husband was a professional pilot, and he got his piloting certification at Kansas State University, and he flew you around a little bit and your staff around. And I said, so I'm going to bridge there, and I can talk a little bit about my experience at Arrowhead Stadium and the Taylor Swift concert. And I knew you guys would be excited about that, so Coach Snyder can do that. I'll talk Taylor Swift, and everything will be good. So that went over better than I thought it would, so thank you for that. I'm sorry, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. That's it. I'm sorry. Okay, I became involved in scouting 15 years ago when my oldest son, Christian, came home from school with a blue wristband, a paper airplane, and an excitement about scouting. I didn't know much about scouting, but he was so excited I was willing to give it a try. We started down the Cub Scout trail and camped and fished and learned how to cook on a fire and be respectful and make friends and all the things that little people and big people like to do. And as Kevin mentioned, I was an educator for 24 years. 20 of those years was at the alternative school, Complete High School in Mays. And an alternative school it's for at-risk kids. And people often ask me, what do at-risk kids look like? What does an alternative school look like? And I often say we had 60 to 70 kids at a time, and they were there for 60 or 70 different reasons. Some of them were there for your stereotypical at-risk, drugs, teenage pregnancy, maybe they weren't getting along at home, so they didn't have a place to live. And some of them were just there for social anxiety, or maybe they were being bullied at school. And so one thing that a lot of at-risk students have in common is that it's very difficult to engage them in school. But I found something that worked. I began using Boy Scout merit badge books to support our elective curriculum. From building teepees with the Indian lore merit badge, to cooking, to golf. If a kid was interested in it, I could typically find something in Scouts to support it. The more experiences that my son Christian had as he moved toward his Eagle rank, the more my students at CHSM would benefit. And this even culminated in an overnight camping trip at Harvey County Lake with about a dozen alternative school kids and several teachers. And yes, we were crazy, and our district administration about had a heart attack. Co-ed. I just went to sleep. I just shut my eyes. Okay. Flash forward to about 2012, and we were noticing that many students were being pushed out of entry-level jobs due to a lack of opportunities in the job market. And so to help provide our students with very important skills learned by having a job, we created an internship program where students spent 3 days a week for 9 weeks at a professional internship. And the support that we received from businesses, it was exciting and it was inspiring. That businesses and professionals were willing and excited to mentor our students, many of whom could only dream of a professional job. It just amazed me. However, one barrier we kept bumping into was whether or not our students had insurance while they were at work and away from school. So internships for high school students at that time were a pretty new concept, and opinions were up in the air about whether school insurance covered students or not. And so with the success of the program on the line, I called up Kevin Gorman, who knew that I was using all of their curriculum for our curriculum, and asked if there was anything that they could do to help. And so we decided to make Complete High School its own career exploration explorer post, and our staff would become scout leaders. It was brilliant. Everyone was incredibly excited. There was one problem, though. The cost for each student to be in Scouts was about $120 per year. And I had 60 students, which totaled $7,200. And our entire school budget for extras for that year was $10,000. So there was no way. And so just like I am, I was like, there's no way. And so the Scout executives huddled together, and he said, okay, you only need 9 weeks, so let's prorate it at $30 a Scout times 60 students, that's $1,800. And I was like, it's halfway through the year, there's just no way. He's like, $20? And I gave him the side eye. And finally he said, okay, Kristy, this is too important, this is way cool, how much can you pay, and we will come up with the rest. And so after looking over my budget, I sheepishly said, I have $10 a student. And the council said, done. I don't know where the money came from or if it ever came, but we signed a contract, and all of a sudden I had 60 scouts, 5 leaders, and an explorer post on my hands. Dang it. It's cool. Yep. Okay, on the very first day of internships, my students excitedly headed out, many of them in their Goodwill slacks, their button-down shirts, hand-me-down ties. Within an hour, I got a call that one of my students had fallen down the cement steps at the Wichita Eagle and was taken to the minor emergency room with absolutely no insurance except a piece of paper from the Scouts. While school district leadership almost immediately wanted to can the idea, I pointed out it worked. That's why we partnered with the Scouts. It was a ton of work, it was a ton of stress, but would I do it again? Absolutely. For 9 weeks, 60 at-risk school youth had scouting experiences that would impact their lives forever. Do you doubt me? Let me tell you a little bit about one of the first internship students that we had. Her name's Tabitha Asher, and Tabitha came from a broken home, typical alternative school story. And she wanted to be a dental assistant. She's like, I think that's cool, I want to be a dental assistant. So she started her internship with Dr. Ratzliff in Northwest Wichita, and he quickly hired her because she had such a great work ethic around the office in addition to her internship. So soon after high school graduation, Tabitha started the dental hygienist program at Wichita State, and one afternoon, Dr. Ratzliff, I'm sure in just passing, said, you're really good, you should become a dentist. And on May 6, 2022, Dr. Tabitha Asher graduated from Howard University as a dentist. Much more often than you've expected, the lives of others you have affected. I often hear, and you alluded to it a little bit, Coach Snyder, kids have changed. You and I believe kids haven't changed. But the way we raise kids today has changed. Kids need a challenge. Kids need something productive to occupy their time. Kids need an adventure. Kids need a mentor. Kids need someone like Dr. Ratzliff to guide them. Whether they're my son, Christian, who has been scouting since he was 5, or 60 alternative high school students like Dr. Asher, whose entire lives were changed because they got the opportunity to experience scouting because a group of council executives said yes. You never know when your simple actions are going to change someone's world. Today, you have the opportunity to do just that by ensuring that every child, regardless of their background or their circumstances, has the chance to experience the life-changing journey of scouting. Scouting has the ability to empower youth, to rise above their circumstances, and realize their full potential. Through mentoring, guidance, and positive reinforcement, scouting helps young people build confidence, resilience, and a sense of self-worth that will serve them throughout their entire lives. Before you leave today, you have the opportunity to affect a life. Say yes to giving a young person a chance to go camping. Say yes to giving a young person the chance to be mentored. Say yes to changing the path of a young person's life for the better.
Thank you, Kristy. Just absolutely. Now, every one of you that gets up and leaves, I want you to know we're going to keep your paddles. I have your email address. Brian's laughing, but he's saying he's watching. We'll send you an invoice because we have your email address, your phone number, all of that. So we'll catch up with you later. So thank you. Kristy, that is, I think you are just going to lead us into kind of one of the fun parts. And what you shared is youth haven't changed, but how we raise youth has changed. And getting back to the fundamentals of what Scouting provides for those young people, boys and girls, to help give them the right foundation to start their lives and to build upon as they go out into the workplace is so critical. So this is the chance where you all get to say yes.